Oh, here we go. Did y'all hear the little phone noise?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I love it. Right on the set. Okay, it is 6:30. I will call the meeting to order. Drew, are you gonna call roll? Can you call
Love
roll
to.
for us? Okay.
Sure. Rebecca Fincher.
Present.
I am Drew Spurgers, and I am here. Ethan Reed.
Present.
Lori Quinn. Mark Ferguson.
Present.
Alexander Banning.
Present.
Jensen Tilkey. Jay Winborn.
Here.
Brooks Davis.
Here.
And Tanisha Roundtree.
Present.
Great.
Thanks everybody for being here tonight. Jensen did let us know that he would be out today, so we appreciate that heads up notice. We do have a quorum. And so with that, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes from the 25th.
So moved.
Motion from Drew. Second from Lori. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, the minutes from the March 25th meeting stand approved. And so just a couple of housekeeping items. The Conway Planning Commission makes recommendations to the City Council on public hearing items. Items reviewed on this agenda will be considered by the City Council as early as April 23rd, 2024. Items not approved by the Planning Commission Board of Zoning Adjustment may be appealed to the City Council within 30 days of the date of denial. And so that we will move to our first item, and I want to recognize the staff and the team who has done such a good job to make sure that I look like I actually know what I'm doing. And so I will say this first item, they're going to be, the different items require different votes, but the first item does require 6 votes to pass. So with that, I'll turn it over to the team for the first item.
Thank you, Commissioners. Tara Jackson with the planning staff. The first item is a request to annex 17.22 acres. The location is 367 Old Military Road. The requested zoning is R1, one family residential. Adjacent zoning is also one family residential. There is an existing structure on the property. The comprehensive plan lists the property as single family. It is currently in the platting process for an extension of the Orchard Hill subdivision, which is a 6 large lot subdivision, and there would be an estimated 66 vehicle trips per typical weekday. The applicant will need to coordinate with Conway Corporation for extension of utilities and streets and drainage to be installed by the developer. The application is consistent with the comprehensive plan. The R1 zoning is considered appropriate by staff. The applicant is requesting police protection, fire protection, street maintenance, sanitation, and the ability to connect to Conway Corporation utilities. The fire department, Conway Corporation Planning and Development Department, Transportation Department have all recommended annexation. The annexation request complies with the requirements of Ordinance O-22-77 specifying procedures for annexations. And with that, staff recommends approval of this annexation.
Are there any questions for Tara tonight? Tara, is this your first meeting with us?
It is.
Okay.
I've attended meetings, but this is my first time presenting.
Okay, well, welcome. I'm
you.
sorry that I did not say that before we just let you go off to the
that's
races.
fine.
We're glad that you're with us. And you
Thank
did a
you.
great job.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. We appreciate it. With that, we will kind of open this up. Is the applicant here to speak on behalf of the request? Name and address.
Hey, Megan Weckworth with the Tyler Group, 240 Skyline Drive, Conway, Arkansas. I'm speaking on behalf of Frank Shaw Properties, but I'm mainly here just in case y'all have any questions. It's pretty straightforward, I think.
Any questions? Awesome. Thanks.
Thanks.
Is there anyone else here to speak in favor of this request? Is there anyone with us that are opposed that would like to speak in opposition to this request? Okay, with that, I will bring it into the commission for discussion. Commissioners?
I move to approve.
I have a motion from Alexander and a second from Lori. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion stands approved. That will bring us to item B on the agenda. And just as a note, and keep me honest over here at this table like that, I know what I'm doing. This will require 5 votes for this next one. Is that correct? This is another one that's 6. I mean, we're only on number 2 and I'm not right. So I wrote it down wrong. So this one does require 6 votes. My bad. And so with that, I will turn it over to staff for the presentation.
All right, this is another annexation. It's actually adjacent to the previous annexation. It is for 5 acres at 3040 Orchard Crest Drive. The requested zoning is R1, one family residential. The adjacent zoning is R1, one family residential. There is one existing single family residence. The comprehensive plan lists the property as single family. If the property was to be further subdivided, there is the potential for a maximum of 29 single-family lots, generating an estimated 273 vehicle trips per typical weekday. Again, there is a single-family residence currently on the lot. The applicant will need to coordinate with Conway Corporation for extension of utilities, streets and drainage to be installed by the developer if further subdivided. The application is consistent with the comprehensive plan. Staff finds that R1 zoning is appropriate for the property and consistent with other properties in the area. The applicant is requesting police protection, fire protection, street maintenance, sanitation, and the ability to connect with Conway Corporation utilities. And this annexation complies with the requirements of Ordinance O-22-77. The Fire Department, Conway Corporation, Planning and Development, and Transportation Department all recommend annexation.
Any questions for Tara? I will say just because we do have some folks with us, just a few guidelines as we get into some of these discussions. We went through the first item, and so you can kind of see we allow the applicant to speak first, and anyone in favor of the request. So the first speaker has 10 minutes, and all subsequent speakers have 3 minutes. We do ask that if there are multiple folks for the opposition or in favor of, that you try to coordinate your comments and limit the number of speakers to 3 for each side. That's certainly not a hard and fast rule, but a good guideline just so that we can give you all the time and attention that you need to hear your perspective. And so 10 minutes for the first speaker, 3 for the next subsequent speakers. And so we do in favor of, and then in opposition, and then we bring it back into commission. So those are just some guidelines. As you kind of saw, we went through the first one. So with that, is the applicant here to speak in favor of the request?
Again. Megan Weckworth, Tyler Group, 240 Skyline Drive, Conway, Arkansas. I'm speaking on behalf of Richard Henley, and it's again, just in case you guys have any questions pertaining to the plat or anything about the annexation.
All good.
I think you're good.
Thank you.
Anyone else here to speak in favor of this request? Is there anyone with us that would like to speak in opposition of? Seeing no one, I will bring it into commission. Commissioners? I have a motion. Someone else
I'll
on the
second.
board tonight? No, Alexander's going to stay with us. Alexander gets the second. So with that, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, that that item stands approved. With that, we will move to item C on our agenda. And I will just say, if you all see us turning around looking at the back, it's because the confidence monitor is either not on or not working. I don't know which one. So the one that's right here that you can't see is not working for us. So you may see us turn around and look behind us. So we will move to item C on the agenda. At this point, you're just getting your steps in.
That's right. Thank you. The request is for a conditional use permit in a quiet office district. The location is 3955 College Avenue. The adjacent zoning is to the north, single-family residential, east, southwest, quiet office district. The requested conditional use is for laundry, self-service, laundry services, laundromat. There are no existing structures on the property. The comprehensive plan lists the property as office. The applicant is proposing to develop a multi-tenant office building with the primary development business use being a laundromat, and then having the other tenants be uses that are principally permitted in O2. The development would generate an estimated 55 vehicle trips per typical weekday distributed onto College Avenue with a minimal traffic impact. The applicant will need to coordinate any additional extension of utilities with Conway Corporation. and no street improvements are planned at this time. The property has been platted in accordance with subdivision regulations and will be subject to site development review prior to building permits being issued. And as conditioned, the conditional use permit would not likely negatively impact adjacent properties and will allow for the appropriate development of the property. And with that, planning staff recommends approval of the conditional use permit with the conditions outlined in 1 through 10.
Are there any questions around the conditional use permit or the guidelines from the
At
commission
this
this time?
time.
Thank you. Is the applicant here to speak in favor of this request? Come on up, and your name and address, sir.
I'm Tommy Bond Consulting Engineers, and I represent the applicant.
Can you give us your address, please?
2601 TP White Drive, Jacksonville, Arkansas.
Okay. Do you have any comments in representing the applicant?
I think she's covered everything.
Okay. All right. Are there any questions? Okay, we'll let you go back to the batter's box, and if we have to call you back up here, we will. Okay? Okay. All right. Is there anyone else here to speak in favor of this request? Is there anyone with us to speak in opposition of this request? Okay. All right. Well, I'll bring it back into commission. Commissioners, any comments?
Seems like appropriate use for this. I make a motion we accept the staff recommendations.
I'm gonna just, because this one's a little longer, I assume that the sample motion is the one. Are you good with the wording of that?
Yes, I move
Okay.
to accept the staff recommendation to approve the request with the conditions indicated in the staff report, on the basis as conditioned, the proposed development aligns with the surrounding office uses and will not likely negatively impact adjacent properties.
We just wanted to give you more lines. We didn't feel like that.
Good job, Lori.
Exactly.
We didn't
Good
feel like
job.
that you were
Bravo.
given enough lines for your part tonight, so we want to make sure you get them all.
Yeah.
All right, and we have a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Anyone opposed? All right. Item C on our agenda does stand approved. That one required 5 because it was a conditional use, but we got it. And so the annexations and the rezones require 6. So that will take us to item D. And you're back with us.
She's the whole show.
She's the whole show. Well, Lori's coming after your lines.
Yeah.
We're gonna give her some
All
extra
sentence,
ones.
so.
Yeah.
You can have them.
Sorry, Lori. I didn't know it was gonna go to that one.
Well, I wanted
It
to
just
clarify.
it just had the extra
Yeah,
things
you
with
just
it.
have to
To get those conditions. Okay, sorry. Back to
You're
you.
fine. All right. The request is to rezone a property located at 6 Sutherland Road from A1 to R1. The adjacent zoning is A1, to the west and the south, and then restricted use district. Oh, excuse me. To the north is ag, to the west and the south is restricted use, and to the east is neighborhood commercial district. There is one existing single-family residence on the property with one outbuilding. The comprehensive plan lists this area as single-family. With a rezoning to R1, the property could potentially support 9 dwelling units, and that would be assuming maximum density. However, the site is not currently served by Conway Corp sewer, and so if the property needs to utilize septic systems instead, it is unlikely that 9 dwelling units would be feasible. And however, if 9 dwelling units were to be developed on the property, it is anticipated that the property could generate an estimated additional 85 vehicle trips per typical workday. So with that, I think I touched on everything. Staff recommends approval of the rezoning request to R1.
I do have.
Go ahead, all you. Yeah.
Okay, so if it's on septic and they don't bring in Conway Corp, it would be up to 3 single-family homes?
That's correct.
Up to, it could be 1, it could be 2.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
And then 9 if they connect to city.
Yes.
That's a good question. Any other questions for Karen?
Absolutely.
Is the applicant here to speak in favor of this request? Come on back to us. I feel like everybody wants the main character award tonight. I can't remember what
For
the
sure.
no supporting actresses here.
No,
It's just
not at all.
everybody wants to be together.
Megan Weckworth, Tyler Group, 240 Skyline Drive, Conway, Arkansas. And I'm here to speak on behalf of the applicant. He's looking to rezone the property to R1 from A1. And here for any questions.
I don't think there are any.
Y'all are
Thanks,
really
Megan.
easy on me tonight.
Well. good
Easy
job.
project.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this request? Anyone to speak in opposition? Okay, seeing no one, I will bring it into commission for discussion and comments.
I move to accept the staff recommendation to approve the request as the proposed development aligns with the comprehensive plan and will not likely negatively impact adjacent property.
Second.
Motion from Drew, and I'll give Ethan the second on that. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. That gets us item D approved and takes us to item E, which is also a rezone. Yes, thank you, Megan. And so back to you.
All right. This request is for a rezone from A1, the agricultural district, to S1 institutional district at 1695 South German Lane. There is an existing church on site, which is in use based upon a conditional use permit. The applicant is seeking a rezone to the institutional district to better align, to have their use be in alignment with the zoning district so that they can be operating by right rather than under a conditional use permit. This is because it's already being used as a religious facility. It is a minimal increase in traffic is expected. The highest intensity uses permitted by right in S1 are school and hospital services. However, additional development potential is limited by the size and the topography on site. The site is currently on septic. All other utilities are provided by Conway Corporation. Any expansions or changes in utilities will need to be coordinated with Conway Corporation. And with that, staff recommends approval of the rezoning request.
Are there any questions for Tara? Is the applicant here to speak in favor of this request? Hey, come on up and just, if you'll state your name and your address for the minutes, please.
Brandon Foles, Craft and Toll, 1000 Ledge Lawn Drive. I'm just here to answer any questions about the plat.
Any questions? Okay. Is there anyone else here to speak in favor of this request? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition to? Okay. Seeing none, I'll bring that into commission for discussion and comments.
Make a motion to approve with staff recommendations.
A motion from Alexander. Got a second. Mark. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? With that, item E does stand approved for this evening. And that takes us to our last item under public hearing, item F. Yes, Mark has made us aware that he will need to recuse himself. So we appreciate you, Mark. Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. And so Kara's going to present, and just so we are clear, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, this one does require, it's a conditional use, so does it require just a majority vote? Okay, perfect. Want to make sure with Mark's. I mean, we got to do addition and subtraction here and get all the things right. Okay, so a majority vote of what is left. So.
Okay, this request is for a conditional use permit for a transmission tower in C3, which is Highway Service and Open Display District. Transmission towers are permitted in all zoning districts, but require a conditional use permit. The requested conditional use permit is for a 147-foot tall monopole cell tower. The comprehensive plan shows this for commercial development. Currently, a lot of the infrastructure is on the water tower that is right there adjacent to the site. And so the proposal is to move this infrastructure over to the monopole. And it will be enclosed by a 60-foot by 60-foot chain link fence. And will need to comply with the regulations outlined in Article 5 of the zoning code. There are a few exceptions requested. Such as, because this will not be visible in close proximity to the base of it from a public right-of-way, that it is, the existing landscaping is sufficient on site. The applicant is also proposing to have the wiring and cabling to be externally mounted. The justification being that it cannot be installed internally to a stealth pole. And staff has concluded that it'll have a minimal impact. And with that, planning staff recommends approval of the request with the following, with conditions 1 through 6.
Are there any questions for Tara? I don't think so. I think we're good for right now, but that doesn't mean we may not have them momentarily. So thank you. Is the applicant here to speak in favor of this request?
Mark Ferguson, 800 South Harkrider, here to represent Conway Corporation on this conditional use permit to allow a transmission tower on the property. So basically, it's a safety issue that we've identified, and the potential came up to purchase this property, and we placed a bid, and we are now in ownership of the property. We have to repaint the water tank this year. And in order to do that, we have to take the cell equipment off. The cell providers have to take the cell equipment off the tank while we prime it and repaint it. Then the equipment goes back on the tank. There's equipment around the catwalk, which is a safety issue for any personnel that has to operate and maintain the tank. So we identified a possibility for the transmission tower to relocate the cell equipment off the tank. So it's a safer environment for our employees. And that's the gist behind the request. Or any other questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Is stealth tower as cool as it sounds, or does that just mean it's inconspicuous?
So stealth means it's just a straight pole. There's no equipment hanging off of it. And so because of the existing equipment on the tank, the stealth pole is not practical because it would have to be a larger diameter and taller. So in order to meet the 150-foot height requirement and to maintain the proper service for the cell providers, we're requesting a variance to allow external antennas.
The equipment's currently there. It's not new equipment. You're just changing the way it is there.
Correct.
Okay. Just making that real simple. Okay. Got it.
Awesome.
What did you learn? There you go.
Learned a lot through this process as well.
You're not supposed to have antennas on the outside of a water tower, but I mean, I don't know. I got a whole commentary there. Okay. With that, any other questions for Mark? Okay. Anyone else here to speak in favor of this request? Yeah, come on up. Name and address.
Thank you, Planning Commission. Brett McDaniel, Conway Corporation. Mark took all the words. Basically, we're going to make sure that the cell phone equipment, which is a public safety issue for our guys that have to climb and maintain the tanks, move from the tank to the tower. It's just that simple. Kind of like to see this at all the other tank sites too, if possible in the future.
Okay. And Mark is known for taking all the words, so it's a pattern of behavior. Yeah.
Any questions for me?
To comment, congrats on your new role. Thanks for what you guys do
Thank
for the
you,
city.
Drew. Appreciate that.
I think Brooks may have a question.
Yes, sir.
We have a sense of how much demand
We're not in that business. I really can't speak to that. I'm not an SME. But good question. Yes, sir. Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else here to speak in favor of this request? Anyone here to speak in opposition of this request? there are no other comments, I'll bring this back into commission for discussion.
Move to approve with staff recommendations.
Okay, I have a motion from Alexander and then a second from Brooks. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, that is our last item in the public hearing items, and so it stands approved. That takes us to announcements and additional business. And so, Director,
No, I don't really have anything. Somebody mentioned Tom for the meetings, so I want to discuss that.
Oh.
I would love to see, I was wondering why we had it at 6:30, like at dinner time. I know for some people, we've had even people trying to get here and there at kids' ball games and doing stuff in the evenings, so I just wondered if we moved it to 5:30, still be after work, would that be a?
No.
Is anybody here working?
I'd support moving it to 5:30, personally.
I would also, I think the only question here that we should consider it, well, and it may not matter for, I guess if a new commissioner were to come on who that time didn't work for, we could just move it.
Yeah.
5:30 sounds great.
oh, I'm just letting, no, it works good for me. I could do things at like 5 and like 10 o'clock at night. So that's
Yeah.
great. I have 2 kids, so they go to sleep. So one or the other is great. But you look like you might have comments.
I want to be present for the meeting.
Oh, so okay. Well, thanks for letting us know.
How you feel about 5:30 outside of May? Great.
Is it, I guess, maybe the feeling from the commission, is it okay
Should we
to,
invite Mark back into the commission?
oh yeah, Mark, you want to come back up here? I do want to, we normally don't have this many people at our meetings. Did y'all get anybody, people are leaving? Okay, okay, one time there were people here to talk and I didn't know, and it was real bad. So I just want everyone that wants to speak to get their thing. Okay, thanks. Y'all have a good night. Y'all got input on 5:30 or y'all want to talk about it? Okay. All right. I just want to make. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So back to that one time these people, it was the whole thing. It was that one time these people didn't get to talk. They were mad. Okay. So 5:30. Do you think it would be like?
Does IT need to? Does that affect IT?
Do we need to like wait till next month to approve or to vote on it, or could we do that this month?
I think
Yeah.
He said good with me. I just
Oh,
heard him yell.
okay. Okay, that's
there
great.
you go. Good with him.
Okay. So, all right, I'm
Works
gonna.
for me.
I make a motion to move the meetings to 5:30, moving forward, starting in the May meeting.
I will
Second.
Oh, well, okay.
I'm gonna let Ethan
should get
have
a
it,
motion on
and then
your
Jake
own
get the
item,
second.
Lord.
Just cause.
7th.
7th at second and all the things. All in favor of moving the times of the meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and unless we are told otherwise, we will make this effective for next month. So, Rebecca, can you make sure that we all can you give us an extra text and be like, remember, y'all did this. This was all you.
This
It's
was your
you.
idea.
You're the problem, said
I'll
Taylor
probably be the
Swift.
one
It's
to
me.
say
I'm
that.
the problem. Okay. Yes,
Yeah,
this
there hasn't
has
been any
happened to me.
public hearing publications issued.
Um,
Right.
We haven't issued any for May.
Good
Fantastic. Okay.
And my thought for even bringing it is there's nights we literally have one thing, and so for us to go home, come back up here at 6:30 at night for one thing, it just might be easier.
Well, the good news is, if we don't like it, we can change it back.
That's right.
There you go.
That's right.
We can try 9 o'clock in June.
I won't be
My
here for
husband
that.
is watching this and he is like, stop. Okay, any other items for the commission? Okay, well, with that, I want to commend the staff and the team on a great job of putting such a big packet together. You all did an exceptional job. It made give us the opportunity to run a very efficient and effective meeting, so thank you, and we want to commend you for your work. So with that, we will be adjourned for this evening. Have a good night.
Thanks, everybody.
I will